Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. We have been rallying that to bring sanity in churches, the government of the Republic of Kenya, through the office of the executive, should find a way of banning politicians from participating in church harambes. I also was of the idea, but allow me to tell you what is going to happen. Already, the office of the president has issued directives. And I want to read a letter dated 9th July 2024 that has been sent to the Attorney General, all cabinet secretaries, all principal secretaries and accounting officers, the chief registrar of the judiciary, the controller of budget, the auditor general, the director of public prosecutions, the clerk of the Senate, the clerk of the National Assembly, chairpersons and chief executive officers of state corporations and statutory bodies, chairperson and chief executive officers of constitution commissions, all county governors, all county secretaries, all county assembly clerks. Prescription on participation of public officers in public collection harambes. I read, Harambe is our national motto and has been the clarion call for nation building from the dawn of the Republic ever since. Harambes have provided a mechanism for realization of the ideal of self-help by pooling resources and efforts for social economic development and the mitigation of crises and challenges. However, and as previously recognized by the 2003 Task Force on Public Collections, harambes have once again begun to suffer disrepute and become linked to perceptions of corruption and abuse of office. In that regard, and conscious of the duty to ensure that the spirit of harambes continue to propel its noble ideals while addressing concerns on accountability and ethical conduct within the public service, it is notified that His Excellency the President has directed that no state officer and public servant shall participate in collections in brackets harambes henceforth. Accordingly, and in order to uphold the national principles and values of governance enriched in Article 10 of the Constitution and in various legislation, including the Public Officers Ethics Act, the Public Service Commission Code of Conduct and Ethics, and the Public Collection Act, all public officers are required to adhere to the highest standards of ethical conduct and to secure their strict compliance with the directive as well as compliance by all officers under their supervision, direction, or control. All public officers are further notified that all the service commissions, Public Service Commission, Parliamentary Service Commission, Judicial Service Commission, Teacher Service Commission, and Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, will establish an institutional framework to monitor compliance with this new governance policy. This framework is an interim administrative state intervention until a law facilitating structure and transparent contributions for public, charitable, and philanthropic purposes is enacted. Signed, Felix Koskei, Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service. Now, from this directive, it says, no state officer and public servant shall participate in public collections, in brackets, harambes. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in the Republic of Kenya, we are not able to fight corruption because of the loose rules and regulations, because of the loose laws in our land. For instance, the Executive Office of the President has banned state officers and public servants from participating in harambes. This is from the President. On the other side of the coin, the Constitution allows for freedom of worship. These harambes majorly happen in churches. Majorly. Harambes sana sana zinafanyika kwa makanisa. As William Ruto is directing public servants and civil servants and state officers, banning them not to participate in such harambes, that is one side of the coin. Another side of the coin gives us freedom of worship. Freedom of worship includes freedom of supporting the church. Now, what will happen? The donations to harambes, and mark my words, and you will see it happening. You know, in Kenya, we have so many loopholes. We have so many escapes. Now, going forward, if a church is going to have an harambe, it will secretly inform, for example, a cabinet secretary. For instance, itamwambia, we will have an harambe next month. The cabinet secretary, during the day of harambe, will not appear in person. Mnisikiza vizuri. And this is what is going to happen. There's no secret about it. Harambes won't stop. They will continue, and there's nothing you'll do about it. It's our laws. They have a lot of loopholes, and we must accept it. On the day of harambe, the CS will sit in Nairobi. If it's Uasin Gishu County, for instance, or Homa Bay County, the invited CS or a politician will call someone on the ground who he trusts. Atamwambia, I have sent you 100,000. There is an harambe next week at a certain date. Just go carry that 100,000, go to the church and say, so and so has sent his offering. Now, the harambe money is going to be branded offering. You know, the Constitution gives us freedom of worship and the freedom of giving. The church doesn't put a limit of an offering I'm supposed to give. I can give an offering of 1 million. I can give an offering of 10 million. We have no law that can prosecute me on that. See, muchango, it is sadaka. You see? So, they will say, let me use, for example, a CS from my region, Ezekiel Machogu. Let me use, for example, Machogu. There is an harambe somewhere in Kisii. Machogu will send his PA or someone in the village he trusts or around Kisii, he tells him, take him 100,000, go greet those people, tell them it is my offering. What will you do? Ni sadaka. So, sheria haijaweka limit ya sadaka mtu anafaa kutoa kanisani. Bado ni sadaka, lakini si ni mchango. We cannot end corruption by this. We can only end corruption by prosecution. Mtu ananua saa ya 900,000. Anatoa wapi pesa? Someone wears a belt of 50,000. Anatoa wapi? Someone wears a tie of 200,000. For what? Anyway, God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana.